Welcome, everyone. Good evening or afternoon, wherever you are joining us today. This is Tony with Blue Clover Financial, and I just want to thank you very much for attending. I hope at some way that I can either give you some new information that help you in your business, or actually maybe work with you and help you further along some of your goals. Just a quick introduction about myself, giving you some good and bad. But before I do that, I'd like to just offer you, and this is what I'm going to do at the end of the presentation, ask you to go to this site or on our website here, getstarted.bluecloverfinancial.com. If you do that, you'll sign up for a free one-on-one consultation with me personally over the phone, and also give you some more information about possibly working with us in the future. And I just want to give you a quick quote here. When you realize that no one really knows what they're doing and that everyone is doing the best they can according to their own level of consciousness, life gets a whole lot easier. So anyways, I want to jump right into it. Introduction, who I am. Well, I started Blue Clover the last couple of years just because I wanted to help people. My background was in real estate. In 2001, when I got out of the military, I was in Atlanta doing real estate deals, very small in the beginning, only doing 1 or 2 houses a month, basically just flipping properties. And within a couple short years, me and my team became a huge success in Atlanta. We were flipping about 30 houses a month. It was a pretty extraordinary time, very exciting. We were doing a lot of great things, and all of a sudden, we found ourselves in a situation when the market was changing. It was the first time I was in the business. It was the first time I really was doing anything professionally. So I really didn't understand market cycles. I didn't really understand real estate from the perspective of how it ebbs and flows with economic times. And as things are changing, we were at least smart enough to figure out a way that we needed to change as well. So we got into new construction. We also started doing some hard money financing. And around 2006, after the market crashed, we had it was just devastating to our business. We went from doing the 30 deals a month I just mentioned to nothing. And when you doing well and all of a sudden start making no money, that can take a big toll on you. Well, during that year, over the next couple of years, I went through a lot of just devastating circumstances. Had personal loss. My mother passed away. I went through a divorce. I filed bankruptcy. Had a foreclosure. But I was, it was just a pivotal moment for me in changing what I wanted to do with myself in my life. Once I got through all the most difficult parts, I ended up re-entering the real estate market. But I did that in South Florida, actually where I am today. And although I had a pretty good run, I did okay. By 2010, I left the real estate market completely. I felt beaten. It just wasn't like it was when we were doing it before. And I was under the impression that I could, quickly start doing 10, 20, 30 deals a month again with a little hard work. But that just wasn't the case. The business had changed. I had changed. And it just wasn't going to happen for me again. At least that's what I told myself. Then 2012, I was convinced by a friend of mine to get back into the real estate business, not flipping the houses, but doing the hard money. So I actually moved out to Las Vegas. My friend and I decided to raise some money, and that was actually pretty easy to do out there. We started making some loans and doing pretty well. I discovered a niche though during that time. It was a niche of sourcing additional capital so that we could do more loans to our real estate investors we were working with. That launched a brand, a new company, a team of professionals known today as Blue Clover Financial. So that was early 2013 when that happened. I ended up moving from Las Vegas back to South Florida. The second time, and that's where I am today. So anyways, I want to take a brief pause as well. This is completely useless. It's just a little fun fact. I actually appeared on the Steve Harvey show earlier this year. To watch that clip, you'll have to stay to the end. I'll give you a YouTube link to go to watch that YouTube video. So Anyways, what is Blue Clover Financial? Well, Blue Clover Financial is a branded division of my company, ALR Consulting. It's a Georgia company, and it assists small businesses in obtaining the capital they need to operate their business. It's a great alternative to achieving startup capital for businesses or obtaining working capital when banks typically would say no. We actually have two primary products and services we offer. One, which is the one we're talking about today, is the unsecured business lines of credit. That's credit score driven. So all of the loans that we obtain for you is really solely based on your credit score or credit profile. The other type of product we have is bank statement financing. Now, this is really for the second product here. This type of product is really for businesses that have established themselves over the last 4 to 6 months, and they can prove or show at least $10,000 a month in gross revenue. It's not for everyone, but and I can explain that to you in further depth when we have our one-on-one. But the first loan product, the unsecured business lines of credit, that's what I'm going to talk about today. That's what I'm really excited about to share with you. It's a very incredible way to achieve funding and at really competitive and good rates. So what are unsecured lines of credit? Well, they're a group of loans similar to a credit card. Now, I get this question all the time. Are unsecured lines of credit a credit card? Well, yes and no. A credit card is an unsecured line of credit, except the only difference between unsecured lines of credit and credit card is simply a piece of plastic attached to the unsecured lines of credit. So with our unsecured lines of credit that we achieve for you, I'm going to run through just a few short facts. One, we as a company, we never charge any upfront fees for this service. Funding can happen very quickly, usually within 3 to 4 weeks, but it's been known to happen in as little as 10 business days. There's no income documentation required. Rates start as low as 0%, and that's an introductory rate period. And the blended rate across all the lines should not exceed 10%. So one card might be around 8%, one card might be around 12%, but the blended rate won't exceed 10%. Funding, we can usually achieve at maximum about $180,000 per borrower, though I've actually funded a few people much higher than that. No prior operator experience is required. This is great for startups. So you can have no company today, start up a new company tomorrow, and achieve funding within a few weeks. That's incredible, right? And it's 100% uncollateralized. That means it's a signature-based loan. You don't need to prove any assets or collateral to back that loan up. Okay, so what's the secret? What's the secret sauce or the code that we cracked here? Well, the code is really is really just more or less our relationships with over 24 lenders. And it's not just that relationship, but it's in the way in which we package the loan to those lenders. So through this process, what I discovered was that we know in great detail from a lot of practice what lenders are looking for and how to present you and your situation to them to get you approval. That's the secret code here. That's what we've cracked. And that's what we've been doing for the past year and a half consistently. Right now we're funding roughly about $2.5 million a month in loans. And so we know it works. We have a phrase here, and it's, we say yes when others say no. So how does it work? Well, our business lines of credit product is unique because it's specific to your credit profile. We only require a short application and your signature. Even if you think your credit's less than perfect, we can still work with you, but we may recommend some sources to work with to clean up that credit report. But what we do once you apply is we can tell you what needs to happen and what we think we can achieve for you in a short period of time, usually within 2 to 3 days from the time you apply. And if things aren't looking so good with your credit, well, you can always have a credit partner to help you. And that credit partner doesn't necessarily have to be a part of your business. They can just be a friend or family member. Other sources of business lines you can achieve from a local bank or from a loan from SBA. They usually have hefty requirements. You'll have to provide them tax returns, last 6 months of bank statements, income verification, a profit and loss statement, and a lot of details on how you advertise your business. Luckily for you, when you work with us, you don't need any of this. The process is a lot simpler. Well, so what are we looking for? Well, in the most ideal scenario is that we're looking for someone with a credit score of about 720 or better, and with some indicating factors that include depth of credit. We also look at how much credit exists, for how long it's existed, and what's actually on your credit profile. If that credit profile doesn't meet these minimum requirements, then we have some sources and some people we can work with that may be able to get your credit profile up to par in a short period of time. But we won't know that until we take a look at everything. And even if you're at a 680 credit score, you can still achieve funding. The actual score doesn't matter so much rather than what's on your credit report. So what does funding look like? Well, once our underwriters have a complete package from you and a proper credit profile, funding can usually happen within 10 to 14 days. But like I said before, it's usually about 3 to 4 weeks. This phase is really called liquidation. And that time frame, liquidation, is when we take your credit lines and convert them into cash. So, just obtaining a credit line is one thing, but how do you get it accessible? How do you actually use it? Well, we have a process that converts that so you can use it as cash. Funding usually occurs with multiple lines of credit in the form of both business and personal lines of credit. And typically the lines come with those introductory periods that I mentioned. They're interest-free for anywhere from 6 months to 24 months. That can be very helpful. What will your interest rate be? Well, after the introductory period, the adjusted blended average rate of all the credit lines will be around 10%. Some may be a little higher, some may be a little lower, but the blended rate, they won't exceed 10%. How much credit line can you get? Well, that depends on your depth of credit. Typically, if someone's in the mid to high 700s with an established credit profile, more likely than not, I can help them get anywhere from $180,000, sometimes a little more than that. An average borrower with a credit score around 720 can usually get around $100,000 to $150,000. If you have a 680 credit score, most likely they can get you somewhere between $50,000 to $100,000. The average client that I see actually achieves about $75,000 in capital. And that's just the average across the board. Requirements. Well, very minimal requirements here to apply or even to get funding. You want to have a business. You want to have an EIN number. You want to intend to use that money for your business. And you need to have a business checking account associated with that business. And that's all you need. You can apply before you have these things, but when you actually want to go to funding, you'll need to have these 3 things. And if you don't have a business, you can incorporate today, get your EIN tomorrow, and open a business checking account and be done. You can do this whole process within 24 hours. How do we work? Well, first of all, you just need to fill out the application fully. Then we have our underwriting team review it, usually within 48 to 72 hours. Then we'll send you an approval letter. That's issued to you based on your current credit profile. We'll tell you how much we can get for you, and if there's any specific conditions you need to meet before we can start the process. So we'll list those out. We'll say, hey, you have to do X, Y, or Z before we can go into funding. And that will be on the pre-approval process. So you'll have a good picture of what exactly you need to do in order to get the money we've pre-approved for you. For more information or get started right away, please go and fill out the form at getstarted.bluecloverfinancial.com. So what if your credit score is too low? Well, we have third-party credit repair specialists that we work with who will help you remove any inaccurate derogatory items. Their success rate is very high. We also accept credit partners. So these are what you consider co-signers. They don't have to necessarily be part owner in the company that you work in or that you're controlling. They just need to be willing to sign on the dotted line with you. So what does the funding process look like? This is about getting the cash. Well, through that time, once you decide to move forward and sign our contract to obtain the money, the first week or so is us actually going and achieving the lines of credit for you. Once you get those lines of credit, we're going to go through a liquidation phase. That usually takes anywhere from a week to 2 weeks. Once that happens is when you actually convert the lines of credit into cash in your bank account. This whole process from start to finish takes about 3 to 4 weeks. is there a personal guarantee involved? I get this question all the time. Well, in the terms of you signing on the dotted line, yes, you are guaranteeing the loan based using your credit profile. However, there are no assets that collateralize the loan. So similar to your credit card in your wallet, if you defaulted on that credit card, they may send you some nasty letters, it may go to debt collectors, and it may be reported to the credit bureaus, but it's important that you understand they're not going to be trying to come after you. To discuss those risks further, you may want to consult with an attorney or a tax accountant. Now, how will this affect your debt to income ratio? This is another question I get, because a lot of us, and my background is real estate investing, so this is very important to a lot of people that are purchasing homes. So if your minimum monthly payment, whatever that is across your credit lines, that will appear on your credit profile as your debt obligation on a monthly basis. So a mortgage lender will count that, one of those factors determining how much mortgage you can afford. Now, you can offset this though. All you need to do is show a direct payment from your business to the lines of credit, and if you show or prove to your mortgage company that your business is the one that's responsible in paying for those lines of credit, then this will actually offset the negative side effect that you would have normally achieved from just having those lines of credit. So these business lines of credit, additionally, once you achieve them, they'll start reporting to Dun & Bradstreet, giving you your business a paydex score. And that's very important for building your own business's credit profile. Both lines do appear on your personal credit profile, but the ones that are only business lines will also build your business credit. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone here. You're going to be building your personal credit and your business credit at the same time. Okay, so here we go. I'm offering you a free one-on-one consultation, and all you need to do in order to take advantage of this offer is to go to this page, getstarted.bluecloverfinancial.com, fill out the form, and I'll send you an email on how to schedule your one-on-one session with me. Look forward to hearing from you. I really like you to do that. And that will be for us to just get to know each other a little bit, see and evaluate whether it is an option or if it makes sense for you to achieve a line of credit with us, and we can talk about that in detail. Oh, yeah, and I almost forgot here. This is that clip I promised you in the beginning. It's a fun clip. Feel free to watch it. Just go to forfun.bluecloverfinancial.com. This is where I mentioned I appeared on the Steve Harvey Show. It's just a fun little laugh. I'm sure you get a kick out of it. And that concludes my webinar for you. So again, if you want to get started today, to reach out to me, please don't hesitate. Just go to getstarted.bluecloverfinancial.com. And again, I look forward to hearing from you, and have a great rest of your day or week.